Hello guys, this is Colonel21 bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay. And the reason why the video is paused is because I just want to give you a quick look at the scenery, because this is my brand new computer. So if you take a look at the E75 replay and then come take a look at the E75 replay I have on my channel, and then come take a look at this one, you'll see just how much better World of Tanks looks at max graphics. Anyway, we have Desert Fox 14 in the Tiger 1. I'll give you a little bit of information on the Tiger 1 while we're waiting for the replay to really get into gear. The Tiger 1 has about 100 millimeters of frontal hull armor, 80 millimeters a side, and I can't remember how much at the rear, but I believe it is 50 or 40. However, the turret has, I think, 100 or 120. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that it's definitely better than the Tiger P's turret, especially because the commander's cupola is much smaller. And also on the enemy team, we have the Tiger P facing off against the Tiger 1. Now the Tiger 1 it's not about the armor. It's not about the amazing hit point count, even though it has 1,500. It's all about the gun. This gun has 240 average damage and 203 average penetration with its AP round at tier 7. The T29 might have a higher alpha, but the Tiger 1 can fire 3 rounds for every round the T29 fires. It has a 5-second reload, just about, guys. That is insane. And that is after Wargaming gave it a buff, which it was much needed, because now the Tiger 1 has a threshold and it has a real defining thing with it and reason to play it. Along with that, the Tiger 1's APCR round has 237 millimeters of penetration. So, yeah, you don't want to be on the receiving end of this gun for long. Fox. The artillery is just now noticing, wait, why is no one on the left? Or not the left, sorry. On the right side of the map? It's defense, even though his team is somewhat attacking down the right flank. So Fox has taken a central position on the map, and from this position, he can get shots over here, he can get shots over here, he can get shots all along here, as well as being able to cover this entire stretch over here and over here, pretty much anywhere on this map, just by moving less than a fifth of one square. He barely has to top 10 kilometers an hour to have a sniping position at another tank, and the Tiger 1's gun is accurate enough to do it. I'm not sure why he takes the shot at the T-37. He might have thought there was some cover there that the T-37 was using, so that's why he couldn't see it. But the T-37's on the opposite side of the ridge. That T-29's on the opposite side of the building. And right now, no one on the enemy team knows where he is. He's desperately trying to give his allies supporting fire wherever he can, which is honestly what the Tiger 1 is best for anyway. The enemy artillery pops up, but he gets down into cover just in time to avoid from being shot by Fox. And Fox is trying to get an angle on this T-29. He then notices that the enemy is really starting to push hard on the left side. The T-25-2 is outflanking his allies, so he decides to put another shot into him. Or, well, miss. Derp. And now he puts another shot in. Aims for the T-37, but the T-37 dies, so he decides to finish off the T-25-2. Scores are now 3-2. T-29 aggressively pushing up the front. Actually, no, this KV-85 is aggressively pushing, but Fox has now been spotted. He quickly takes a shot at that mantlet of the KV-85. It easily goes through like a knife, like a hot knife through butter, and then pulls back into cover. He was still lit, so the entire enemy team knows where he is. And that T-29 is gonna rear right there. Fox takes his first hit of the game, but he makes that person pay by punching his ticket and making him go back to the garage. Panther 1, the Panther, decides to shoot him twice, Fox needs to put the second round in order to stay ahead of the game on HP. Panther misses his shot as Fox tries to angle. And again, Fox fires, but it bounces. Now, without him even being able to take a breath, the Artie takes a shot at him. Starts aiming at the Easy 2, fires, easily able to pull off the shot because of that Tiger 1's aim time is just so fast. Looks for another one on him, not seeing it. Sees the entire enemy team coming at him from 2 different directions at once, and decides to pull back, hoping that his allies on the left can still buy him a few on the 9-0 line, can buy him a couple minutes to deal with the threat to on the right. Unfortunately, though, the enemy forces his hand and he starts aiming at the Panther. The Panther has several tree lines in between Fox and him, so Fox can just sit here all day and keep putting shots into him until the E2 spots him. Turns his turret just in time to bounce a shot. Easy 2 shoots his front. It doesn't matter. The Easy 2 does not have the gun penetration to go through the front of the Tiger P. Or not the Tiger P, the Tiger 1. I'm going to get this 2 mixed up so much, this replay. He then goes and shoots the Tiger P right in the front Glacius. Perfect place to shoot. Finishes off the Easy 2. He thinks he's still spotted, but he's not. And the PZ-38NA... Oh, he is still spotted. Never mind. PZ-38NA puts a shot right into his cupola, but it does not have the gun pen. Even with gold rounds, that 38NA is helpless against the Tiger 1. SU-100Y is on his flank. Fox thinks he's still spotted, but he doesn't appear to be. Because otherwise, the SU-100Y really should have put that shot into Fox, not the gun carrier. The artillery gets spotted, and Fox could shoot him through that window, but he doesn't want to hold in position long enough for anyone to get a shot on his butt. So he quickly pulls it to cover, takes aim, shot misses anyway. He's done 3,000 damage so far. Sees the SU-100Y trying to back off, trying to lure a couple people out of cover. And the SU-100Y makes a fatal mistake. He shows his front drive wheel. Fox shoots the barrel, which the shell goes through the barrel right into the drive wheel of the SU-100Y, expertly picking off that target. Tries a blind shot through the houses, didn't work. And now these two are aggressively pushing across. I can only guess the time is just about out on this game here for the assault, as they're desperately trying to get enough time to cap. The Tiger P pushes on Fox, but he's allowing Fox to put 2 shots in for every one that he can do. The Tiger P has almost half as much time for reload, so whereas the Tiger 1 has a 5-second reload, the Tiger P has a 7.8-second reload. So Fox can easily just keep putting shot after shot after shot into this Tiger P, trading hit points, and he's always going to come out better off in the end. And that's all she wrote for that Tiger P. Tiger P drivers, do not brawl against Tiger 1s. You will lose. Just as this team did when Fox was able to pick them off one by one by one. 4,581 damage and 6 kills. I am not able to post this replay for him on World of Tank Replays, otherwise I would get the specific stats and show them to you. Unfortunately, I can't do that. He would have to do it, and then I could get the screenshots on there, but I'm going to post this on YouTube anyway, because this was an amazing game, and I'm not going to let this get by. Thank you for sending to me this, Fox, and I will see you guys on the next replay of the video. We're not done. See you soon. Bringing you the second replay of the video, and this is not recorded on the same day because I had a few technical difficulties. However, they should all be worked out by now, I hope. Knock on wood. And this is on highway, and both Panzer and I are in E100s. Now, the E100 is the end line of the Tiger 1. It's the top tank. And honestly, compared to the E75 tier for tier, it's kind of disappointing, but it does have its own strengths, and if you're able to use its strengths, and the enemy doesn't take advantage of your weaknesses,
you're able to dominate the game. Now, the higher the caliber of your gun, the more likely you are to inflict module damage. So, the E75, I can't remember what millimeter gun it is, but it is a pretty high caliber gun, and you do commonly inflict module damage. Not as commonly as the E100, though, as that is a 150 millimeter gun, I believe. Yep, 150 millimeter gun. I think the E75 uses a 120 millimeter gun. Don't quote me on that, though. But the E75 has a 16, give or take a second, reload, depending on what you put on it. I run mine now with vertical stabilizer, gun laying drive, and rammer, I believe. Or is it vents, rammer, and vert stabs? Anyway, the reason behind the vertical stabilizer instead of super heavy spall liner is, well, whether I have it on or not, it doesn't seem to work, but as well as the vertical stabilizer, because the stabilizer goes for turret rotation. This is a huge gun. You're going to be side scraping and angling, and you have to turn your turret to aim, and you want to angle your turret because your turret front is a huge target, and if someone just fires heat rounds, it's just going to go in, as you'll see later. But anyway, Panzer and I are the top dogs. We are actually the only heavies going into the city, and this is a big mistake. If you are a heavy tank, I don't care what heavy you are, unless you are a French heavy, you need to go to the city. Okay? I don't care if the field has no defense whatsoever. If you're a heavy tank, you got to be in the city. It's the only place you're going to be able to perform effectively. Now, our tank destroyers are covering our medium tanks and this foolish IS-3. We've already lost the Pershing, and they're fighting against all of their mediums and a couple tank destroyers over there. The enemy platoon, the E100, the IS-7, and the Object 268, are all in the same clan. They're all together. They're all top tier 10s. So honestly, I expected to run into all three of them in the city when I saw the IS-7 and the E100 over here. The Object 268 is nowhere near the city, and in fact, he's over here, as we'll see later. But I didn't know that at the time. Our T-54 and Centurion are being hyper-aggressive by going over here, and you can do this in mediums, but it's not a good play because you have only so much cover, and there's only so much that an angling heavy tank can do over here. We can only fire once before the enemy's behind here. So once they get behind here, you're completely screwed, and there's nothing that you can do to get away. And once you commit to that part, you can't get out because you'll just get drilled by all their heavies. Now again, I've loaded heat rounds because our flank looks so weak, and I just shot the E100 right in the turret, as you can do. Now I'm side scraping, trying to bait him to get him to shoot me so that I can come out and put a shell in him. And as long as I don't show too much side, he won't be able to hit me much. There's only one spot, and that would be right over here, but that might even be hidden. Panzer is watching my flank in his E100. He's waiting for the enemy to come up this way, try to go to our base, or to come around and hit me. He's also waiting there instead of over here because I can support him here, he can support me here. And if I get rushed, he has shots down here. If he gets rushed, I have shots over there. And we're both artillery safe here. Now their E100 took a shot at me. Heat does not go through other objects, so I have to be careful of what I shoot. And I want this E100 to come out, but it looks like he's going the other way, so I point my gun where I think he's going to come out. And then when I was playing this, it seemed a lot longer. So I shift back because I think he's going to come out right here. Nope, he doesn't. And so I try to go for a shot on the IS-7, who just stays hidden. Then the E100 makes his move. I never should have taken this shot. That was never going to hit, and even if it did, it was going to bounce, because it would hit his space armor. Our T-54 makes a YOLO move, and he dies. What did you think was going to happen when you show your side to three tanks that all have high caliber guns? And this is just immature play. But what are you going to do? T-69 here behind me is kind of screwing me, but I still managed to pull off an amazing ammo rack shot on that IS-8, and that was much needed because the enemy was getting ready to bum rush me over here. If that IS-8 had not gone down, that E-100 would have rushed to here. That would have bought the IS-7 and the T-28 prototype over here, which just killed the T-54 to rush up here and go for me. And while we probably could have held them off, it would have been a lot harder, especially because they have a Jagdtiger. So now I'm looking for a shot on that E-100. I hit the spaced armor. And now I have a 16-second reload. Why he didn't put another shot in me, I don't know. He could have penned me there too, because I couldn't angle well, because I didn't want to show any side to this IS-7 and T-28 Proto over here. You got to be very mindful when you're side scraping of just what parts of your tank is showing. And always back off, back to the right. The VK decides to put a shell in me, and I make him pay for it by removing half of his hit points. He then repays the favor by shooting my lower plate, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. You got to be careful what you're showing. Try to put one in the E-100. It's not going to happen. VK's down to 422 hit points, but he sticks around to put another shot in my tread. E-100 shows me the lower plate. I take it. He pens me in my lower plate. E-100 lower plate is very weak with these tiers. Our Jagdtiger is rushing against another Jagdtiger. That is why you don't rush that spot, guys. You're going to get completely over here. You're going to get completely cornered off if you go over here and you don't have other people behind you. We are even forces right now, but just barely, and they have all of their higher tiered tanks over here. The Object 268 and the entire field is dead, though. We are holding this side off, and that's all we have to do. If we hold this side long enough, our entire field force is just going to come around and they're going to cap the base, or they're going to come in and hit them in the ass. Preferably, they should cap the base for the easy win. But we have to keep holding on to this flank, because if we don't hold and they push, the enemy's going to go cap our base before they can get back up the hill, because there's a huge hill right here. And it's so hard to climb this hill if you don't have a good horsepower per ton ratio, which only the T-62A has that kind of horsepower to ton ratio to get up here in time. And the Waffles don't even have the armor to bounce any rounds. The T-62A might be able to, but then again he might not. The medium armor on that one is quite iffy. The T-34, if he stays hold down, can, but he won't be able to reset the cap. And our Arty, well, they can only fire so fast. So we have to hold on to this town or we're going to lose. Our Jagdtiger has made a very stupid move. Panzer's trying to get over there to support him because I told him I'm okay. I shoot at the E-100, and let me back that and let me show you what I hit there. There was a stoplight right there, and I hit the stoplight inside of his turret, saving his life. I didn't know red lights worked on shells too, RNG. Arty's trying to get ahead on this E-100. He is in an open spot, but it's just not going to happen. And I'm trying to deal with this E-100, but there's other tanks as well, like this VK, and they're going to keep making it hard for me. I bounce a shot from the E-100, he bounces a shot on me, and it's at this point that I realize he has the small gun, not the big gun. So I know he's going to come out, so I keep distancing myself from there because I don't want him to come out when I'm not loaded. He puts another round into me, and I try to get the shot off, and then the IS-7 pisses me off. I say, alright, pal, look, this is a fight between two E-100s. Why do you think you can invite yourself to the party? You really want some of it? Okay. How do you like them apples? T-69 plus one to me, and I'm like, really? VK, now I've had enough. I'm saying screw it. I'm killing this E-100, and I don't care how much damage I take in the process. He has to die. Panzer can take anything that's left. I need to kill that E-100. So I do, but I'm now in the open. There's two artillery still in play, and while they should be watching for their own ass, yeah, how many times does artillery do what it's supposed to do, guys? Case in point, GW Tiger P puts a huge shell on me, leaves me on 59 health. I think I'm dead. T-28 Proto should have killed me right there. team is paying us compliments in the city, as well as exchanging GGs, because it's in the bag. We've held them off. And then Artie finishes me off. I'm dead. I hate artillery for doing that. But I can't be too angry. I got 2 ammo racks in one game, dealt 7,600 damage, and both Panzer and I are going to get 3 kills. How much more could I ask from one game when we're supposed to be dead anyway? But the remaining action actually happens at the cap, which is over in the distance. The T-34 and Waffles are closing in on killing this STI, and then they're going to close with the artillery and finish it. So the Waffle and the T-34 surround the STI. When you're surrounded in a heavy tank, you have one choice, and that is, well, no, you actually have 3 choices. You can sit there and die and give up. You can sit there, fight, and die. Or you can rush a guy and try to win. If you get flanked, you have to break the flank. You have to commit and destroy one part of the flanking maneuver, or you're going to die and lose. He didn't do it, cost him his life. And that's the end of this replay. So let's go to the post-game stats. Well, that was definitely a victory, and it was also a first-class mastery badge in the E100. Now look how much base XP this is. 1,068 base experience. And that's only first class. So you do have to work to get that mastery badge. I got the high caliber medal, which has caused at least 20% of the total HP of enemy vehicles. It must be 1,000 hit points at least. I can't hit any allies with my shots, and I have to earn more XP than the other person who does more damage than anyone else. So now, look at their team. Their best players were that IS-7 and the E100 this game, along with the Jagdtiger. The city took out the IS-7, the E100, the Jagdtiger, the T-28 Proto, the IS-8, and the VK4502P. Now, they did a lot of damage to the city because it was uneven terms and we're at close quarters fighting. The field, the enemy tanks that went to the field, they absolutely underestimated the Waffenträger Panzer IVs, who kicked ass. Look at this guy, 4,596 damage, 6 kills. He got a top gun that game. The T-34 did 2,432 as well. Even if he was out of position, he made it work. I'll give him some kind of kudos for that, because he did at least make it work. The other Waffle didn't do as well as his counterpart, but he still helped keep the guys pinned down, and that allowed our T-62A to get 3,497 spotting damage. Go over to the detailed report. I fired 12 shots, 10 shells hit their mark, but only 7 went in. But however, I dealt 7,608 damage. The average shell damage for the E100 is 750. 7,608 damage for 7 hits, 750 average. That's more like a almost 1,100 damage per shell. I took 18 hits, only 7 penetrated my tank, 11 bounced or only hit my treads, and I received 2 splash damage hits from artillery. Damage blocked by armor, 3,000. They could have killed me twice. And I don't think the damage blocked by armor counts the treads that were knocked off either. I'm not sure. But that was a ×2, and that'll wrap up this batch of replays in this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Bye.